Moving on from this chat, Man United and Chelsea and Arsenal have all picked up more injuries today, boys. Lisandro Martinez out for 3 months. It looks like Saka and Declan Rice might be missing for Arsenal. There seems to be a lot of injuries at the moment, or am I just imagining this? Why do we think that is if there are an abnormal amount of injuries?
Pre-season don't help. Long pre-season, all over the world. Teams are playing in 3-4 different countries. That could be it. Is what it is. Could be. Don't know. I'm not a doctor, innit? I'm not a solicitor. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a football fan.
No, I hear you on that. How do you think it's going to impact? We'll start with Man United. How do you think Man United are going to be impacted losing Reguilon's now out, who was the last minute backup replacement for the other two left backs? He's now out. Lisandro Martinez could be out for up to 3 months with a recurrence of the metatarsal injury in his foot. They looked okay the other night against Palace. Do you think losing 2 more players now is going to damage the season further for United and Ten Hag, or do you think they'll manage the next 2 games okay?
I mean, I'm not a doctor, but as a football fan, I could tell that this is going to impact Man United negatively. Of course, Lisandro is still their best centre-back. I don't think he's had a good start to the season, to be fair. I think he's probably had I don't think even Terry would agree. I don't think he's had a fantastic start to the season. He hasn't started the season the same way he ended the last. So this will definitely affect them negatively, having Lisandro out. He still is their best centre-back. So that's something that definitely will affect Man United negatively. With the injury situation, look... games are coming, quite quick, rotations, stuff like that. I mean, Ten Hag has been criticized in the past for kind of not rotating enough. That's why Staffy thinks he'd do a better job than Ten Hag. I told you I'm going to expose you, Staffy. You really think you're going to do a better job than Ten Hag. But I think, look, with the injuries, Chelsea can afford having injuries because obviously they're playing once a week. So if Chelsea gets an injury or 2, I don't think it affects them. By the way, congratulations, all Chelsea fans. You actually celebrated a goal for the first time in the month of September. So congratulations. In 28 days, you said goal once. So I'm very happy for you guys. You finally have made it out. So congratulations for beating Brighton. Finally you got a win. But look, I think with Chelsea, they play once a week. So if they get a couple of injuries here, a couple of injuries there, I don't think that affects them negatively, to be honest with you. Like, they could still carry on. They could rotate a couple of players and stuff like that. It depends who the injuries are too. Like, I think Nkunku's injury affected them badly because they were relying on him for creativity, for goals, for stuff like that. So that might affect them negatively. I think an injury to Sterling would affect them negatively. Players like that, that's when you would really feel the effects. But like, if right now, for example, Lavia's been out, they could rotate a couple of youngsters in and stuff like that because Chelsea are in a process. And everything I told Terry about Chelsea for the last 4 months have been proven true literally 5 game weeks into the season, because literally half of them are Poch out, the other half's Poched out. There's like about 5% who support the manager. So I think this is a good project with the absolute wrong fan base. So that's the thing, because Chelsea fans are not known to have patience. So yeah, that's what I'd say. It was gonna affect Man United more than Chelsea. And actually, I don't know if the news is true. Apparently, Maddison is out as well, or a couple of guys. I don't know. It might be false. I am not sure, but I think there was some sort of thing that maybe Maddison might be out for tomorrow. But
yeah, that knee looked a little sore at the weekend. Mate, you can, yeah. I don't know. I don't know if they've revealed that yet. James Maddison. I know it says here that they're both good to go. Maddison and Son are both going to be fit for that game, but we'll get onto that later. Okay. I hear what you're saying about Chelsea. Listen, what you said about Lisandro, I'm not surprised Lisandro's back out again. He hasn't looked right all year, and in a lot of games, you've seen him moaning about his foot. So he's come back. There's been a reoccurrence. He's tried to be managed through it, and I would rather him be out and get it better and come back good than play injured for a couple of months, be awful, and then have something worse happen. So it's annoying. But yeah, the amount of injuries just feels crazy at the moment. I know everyone always gets injuries, but we've had, on average, 13 players out injured all year. Chelsea have had similar. Arsenal now have 7 or 8 of their first team players out. City, I mean, you've got a great squad, but you still had KDB, Grealish, Stones, Kovacic was out for a bit. You've had a lot of injuries as well. On Chelsea, though, Chilwell's now out. They did win the other day. Steve, do you think this is going to be like a turning point for Chelsea, or is there still a long way for him to go?
I just think we said it last show that he's got, he's just got he needs time. He needs time. Whether he's going to get it, I don't know. He needs time. Well, anyone else spends that kind of money in that short space of time, people are putting pressure on you. You know what I mean? But they've done it, and it's like, oh, well, you know, he needs a bit of time to do this, he needs a bit of time to do that. But the Chelsea fans are already up in air about it. You don't know what Chelsea's going to turn up. One week you watch them and they look okay, and you think, yeah, it's coming together. Then the next game, it's total nightmare. So, to be honest, a win's a win. They probably needed that. Jackson needed that goal. He's been getting a bit of criticism for not scoring. But if the Chelsea fans are giving him time, then I think he might get some sort of a team together, and they might be better than what they are. But at the minute, it's one step forward, two steps back.
Yeah, how do you see the game going for them Monday?
Who are they playing Monday?
We've got Fulham on Monday, like away from home.
See, it's going to be tough, Fulham, for them, Craven Cottage. I think Fulham will fancy it and think, you know what, we're getting them at the right time. It's a bit of pressure on them. Let's put it on them. It won't be easy. It's not the small, tight ground at Craven Cottage. Derby as well. Don't know. Chelsea, listen, no one's going to give Chelsea any sympathy anyway, so they've got it all to do, but I think Fulham could win that.
What are you saying, Sam?
For me, look, I keep the same energy. I look, for the good of football, Chelsea need to fail 100%, because there always needs to be a process involved in which you want to get to the top. And I'll be honest with you, I'm actually in agreement with Steve on this one. I think the problem is not Pochettino. I think the problem is not even the manager or whoever. Like, I've said this during the summer, and I will actually reiterate what I just said. I still remember the first show that me and you done, Terry, and I said Chelsea don't need to buy players as much. They just need to be focused more on selling players. And I stick by what I said because it's been proving true. I think they got rid of too many. They brought in too many. And with Chelsea, the reality is they have just signed too many players. And I've said, even if Pep and Klopp were together doing a tag team for Chelsea, they would still struggle. You cannot get 20 players integrated. Chelsea, the fact is, they've signed too many players. That's also a thing where you just do too much. And I think Chelsea have done too much, and that's the reality. So when it comes to Chelsea, I think they should have signed maybe 4 or 5 players less, kept, maybe a couple of old experienced heads. The average age of their squad is about 14. So, they bought too many youngsters as well. And the reality is, I'll be honest with you, yes, Poch has made mistakes, yes, but sometimes I feel like people with agendas, big up my guy Roy, but he's one of them, people with agendas against Poch before he was even signed are already going like, yo, he should have hold that stuff. You think you're going to do better than Ten Hag? Shave your head first, and then we'll talk. So when it comes to Chelsea and the current situation, I don't think it's a managerial issue, because I think you put Pep there, you put Klopp there, you put the best manager on earth there, and they would still struggle because it's too many players, and there's no experience there whatsoever. They need time. They need so much time. And with Pochettino, for example, I'll give you a contextual example of why I don't think it's Poch's fault. Jackson has the most chances missed in this whole league in terms of XG, expected goals versus the amount of goals he's actually scored. Jackson, the new striker they bought, has missed so many chances. And Chelsea have actually, if I'm not mistaken, been 6th in chances created in the entire league. So it's not like Chelsea are playing football and they're not creating opportunities and shit. They're just not scoring goals, I'll be so honest with you. They just have such a lack of clinicalness up front, because Mudrik's not a goal scorer. Sterling, maybe, I don't think he's been the same maybe for the last 2-3 years. Maybe the old version of Sterling would have cooked, but this current Sterling, once again, it's not the same. Jackson's been missing a shitload of chances. There's no one really to put the ball in the back of the net for Chelsea, and that's their biggest issue. So even with this whole Poch is this and Poch is that crap, if Jackson scored 2-3 more goals, if a couple of their players put the ball in the back of the net, we're sat here talking about Chelsea being in 6th or 5th, and everyone's going like, okay, I understand. So I think they're actually playing decent football as well, to be honest with you. They're not boring as fuck or anything. They're just not scoring. So yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, I get you on that. I get where you're coming from. I think that they need wins to build the confidence up, and I agree. Sacking Poch is stupid. I understand. People get, Chelsea of the past would have done it. Yeah, Chelsea 15 years ago would have done it and been successful, but they're not that Chelsea anymore. And you're not going to get back to being that Chelsea with this young squad by sacking managers. You need to build something that's a little more sustainable. And I'm not professing that Poch is the greatest manager in the world, but he is a very good coach. and he can get this team playing better football, but confidence is key. When they scored that goal against Brighton, they suddenly became the better team. Up until that point, Brighton were absolutely all over them. They should have finished some chances earlier on. So, yes, a massive game for them. It's gutting that picked up another injury, and it's another experienced player that could help them. But also, the super chat here from Abdullah says, Todd Bowley needs to be a silent investor and have no say in the football operations. Just write the checks. People without football, that's why City got it so right. They've got loads of business people, billionaires, money men. But they let football people as far as I'm aware, they let football people make the football decisions at City. So did Brighton. So when they were good, so did Ajax. All the teams that are run well and successful, football people make decisions. As soon as bankers and money men start making decisions, it all goes wrong.